Hey everybody. Special episode. 2 in a week. How happy are you for that? Hopefully it's a lot. I, as you know, am Nick Youssef. I am sitting in my Brooklyn apartment on a fucking 64-degree day. This is how fucked my life and like body temperature and tolerance is now. I rejoiced for a 64-degree day. I was like, yes, no jacket. All this shit that I've never done in my life growing up in Los Angeles. This 64 right now would be freezing temperatures. This would be like I woke up and I was like, I was teleported into the Arctic and I won't make it through the day because I don't have the clothing required. Now 64, I'm ready to like fucking run down the street naked. Ugh. But you know, what can you do? Having 4 real seasons is good for me. It's good for my mental health, my emotional. It's good for all of it. And my guest is from New York, so this is fucking nothing new to him. He, if anything, is doing the what I used to do. He lives in L.A. now, and he's fucking probably burned all his jackets. He probably brought his winter shit from New York and set fire to it as a celebration when he signed the lease to his new apartment. I needed that sip of coffee. Sorry. Okay. So, my buddy J.F Harris, he's in the green room right now. We're gonna bring him in, and hopefully, it goes smoothly because I don't really ever have guests on here. So, if this is a fucking disaster, I apologize to JF, the listeners, everyone, and I apologize to my future self, who's going to be really upset with my current self. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Are you in
Yo,
here?
dog.
All
Whoa,
right,
I
that
am
was
close
pretty
as
easy.
hell.
As my
What's going
computer
on?
explodes for some reason. All right. How are you,
You,
buddy? I can't hear you now. I cannot hear what you're saying. You can't hear me? You gotta be kidding. Hold on. This is fucked. I can't believe this. Shit, dude. Why? Let's see. Can
there you
you...
are.
Okay. I can hear you.
Hold on.
I knew this couldn't just be as easy as I click it and you appear. All right.
I think I'm the only one on the stream at the
You
moment.
are. Until now.
There we go. There
And
he
I can
is.
hear
I
you.
still
What?
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? No?
There. Oh, oh. I can hear me now.
But you can't hear me.
Can't
Jesus
hear a
Christ.
goddamn word you say.
This is not... Why?
Oh, we got it. We third person Liz watching on the stream, and it's funny. The only thing I can hear right now is myself echoing. So it sounds like I'm having a stroke as I'm talking, or like someone's bullying, like they're
You,
repeating me like a
you,
second after.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hold on,
Do
let
it
me
like the
try something.
copying you thing.
How does this work? Nope. Take the mic out. Maybe if I go down here in some kind of settings, built-in microphone. No, we want the US.
Okay, well, Brian
Did
Austin
that
right
change
here says
anything
he can
for
hear
you?
both of us.
I don't hear myself anymore, which is great. Now I just sound like a normal person. I still can't hear you. So let me try
Fuck.
one more thing.
Okay. Because I can hear me and you.
Disconnect.
All right, try talking now.
Ooh, you sound great now.
Still can't hear a goddamn word you're saying.
Fuck. This,
I
I'm
I,
so
I can
sorry.
make out. I can lip read the fuck that you just said though.
I know.
It's funny too. Like in my camera, I can see me like dragging a second after I do anything.
Okay.
It might just be that this old laptop isn't sharp enough for this new streaming platform and world.
Yeah,
Now
maybe.
you're totally frozen. Yeah, I
Um,
made out you saying maybe. Um,
do it from your
you know
phone.
what I might recommend? Or phone. I was also gonna say what we could do is reschedule for 2 days from now. I will order all the wires I need for my new laptop, and we could do it on like
Well, we're
Monday
already
or
fucking
Tuesday.
on.
Because I just bought a new MacBook Pro, like the top of the line MacBook, so that I could do live streaming stuff. And then
Okay,
I
yeah.
had none of the cords to plug into it.
Right. Hold on. I can chat with you here. I'm gonna tell you. Just do it.
You're gonna have to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on my last pitch. Oh yeah, I guess I could talk to you on the phone. Hold on one second. Let's see if that works. This is some bootleg ass technology. There might be like a weird echo. Contacts. Nick. Oh, you know how we're gonna do this? I got this figured out. Ready?
Okay, here we go.
Check this shit out.
We're figuring.
But you can hear me,
Yeah.
right, Nick?
Yes.
Perfect. This is gonna work. Ready?
I can't wait to hear what we're gonna do.
I'm calling you at the moment.
Okay. What are we doing?
Here we go.
What does this do?
Can you hear me okay?
Well, here's what I was gonna say. Is
Okay.
if you click the link that I sent you from your phone, you can live stream from your phone.
Oh, cool.
So just hang
right.
up and do it from your phone, and we should be fine.
Okay, great.
Okay.
This isn't working for you?
Not really. It's really like weird.
Okay, cool. Tight. I'll call you
All right.
1 sec.
Okay.
Hang.
This is what happens when you produce your own show. But he's gonna call back from his phone. And I think we should be okay. What's today? Friday? I hope everyone's having a good Friday. I'm honestly fucking thrilled about this weather. After this podcast, I'm just gonna go walk 5 miles. Okay, he's in the green room. Let's add him. Okay.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Fucking yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, everything's perfect. There's no delay anymore. There's no nothing.
Nothing.
So I think it was
No
just your
echo.
old computer.
So 5th time's the charm.
Yeah.
And now I'm using my laptop just as like a stand.
Of course, yeah.
To
And
hold
your
my phone.
camera on your phone is way better than your laptop. You're like crystal clear right now.
Yeah, we're working off a 13 Pro here, you know? Pro 13 Pro Max.
Yeah. Which so funny is better than like a 5-year-old laptop, a 13 Pro Max.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's insane. So wait, like tell me, so you got a new top of the line MacBook, and you got is that a Shure 7 VM or 7 whatever?
The M1 Max chip.
No, not the computer. The microphone you have.
Oh, I have the Shure whatever that is. That like good Shure one that you're supposed to get and use for everything.
You're supposed to get. Those are fucking pricey. Good for you.
I think it was like 200 bones on Amazon. So not as bad as you would think.
So there's the professional level one, and then there's that one.
Yeah, I think this one is like made for like online.
Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Because
the ones that all the fucking super huge podcasters have, it costs like $800 or some shit.
Oh yeah, no.
Which you don't need. Like the one you have is plenty.
Yeah, it's fucking.
That's gonna be the next.
Singing into it.
That's gonna be the next mic I get. This one here, I've had this is just a regular Shure SM50.
Shure makes the best mics.
Yeah, they do. And I've had this since the very first podcast I've ever done back in like 2013 or 14. It's a workhorse. It's great. I love it. But it would be nice to have one that doesn't have all this, so I can just have it come in from here. But you got to dream.
Yeah, no. The backdrop looks great. I love the studio.
Yeah, it's what?
I love the studio.
Yeah, it's basically just the apartment.
But you've always had a good knack for decorating.
Yeah, thanks. So you just moved into a new place. Have you decorated? Where are you right now?
Yeah, since October. I'm in Los Feliz. I got a dope little one bedroom out here. It's great.
Nice.
I'm all set up nice. I got, yeah, record collection, dining room table. I got a
Sweet.
good, the space is kind of just perfect. It fits everything I own,
That's
you know?
perfect.
Yeah, took everything out of storage and I was like, maybe I'll put this here, this here, this here, and then like everything fit.
That's great. And finding a one bedroom in Los Angeles that's like not astronomical is that's good.
Yeah,
Did you get like a
I,
COVID deal?
I got, no, I got a buddy. I'm subletting from a buddy who's lived here since the 90s.
The 90s. Wow. That's
Yeah,
really
so
funny.
it hasn't been painted since the 90s.
Who
Yeah,
cares?
but other than that, if I get to hold on to it for another 6 months or longer, I'm gonna drop the coin to have it completely repainted.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like a thank you to him basically
Yeah,
giving you an amazing deal since the 90s. What he pays like $100 a month? Fuck.
it's pretty good deal. I'll put it
I'm
that
sure
way.
it's amazing.
It's not like, oh my God, it's it's not nothing, but
Right,
it's
right.
makes it where I can go on the road one weekend and pay for it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. I mean my place in Los Feliz I've been in since 2010. So I'm in like a
Wow.
similar yeah, where it's a
Yeah, I
great deal.
think our the prices on the two of those are pretty similar.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it helps like I always tell people when I used to tell people at least when I'm like if you move to LA or New York or whatever, unless something happens where you have to move, like don't move up unless you're really, really ready. Because if you have lean years, you don't want to be stuck in some place where the rent's more than you can afford because you had 2 good years because you booked a couple commercials or whatever the fuck. What?
That was me, dog.
Or did
I
you
had a
like?
couple good. Yeah, I was in a relationship, and being in a relationship, they're like, you're living with a woman who wants to not live like a comedian, and then
But
and
yet
then you
wants to
get a
live with one.
yeah, 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 and then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna friggin' and you land a TV job, and then
Right,
you're like, I got TV money right now. Fuck it, yeah, let's bump up. Let's get a two bedroom,
right, right.
and then 2 years go by till your next TV job, and the road pays okay, but it's not changing your life.
Yeah, it's not. It's not
Y-
allowing you to have a fucking, you know, office
Yeah,
that.
you're not taking vacations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So so you got the one bedroom. You're all set up. You're not going to move back to New York. I remember you were thinking you were maybe going to do that.
Yeah, I'm still like, the plan is I kind of did the thing of like I put in 7 or 8 years of hard work here and I was starting to see him pay fruition. Like, why would I leave just now?
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stay here, and at a certain point, I would like to be bi-coastal. Like my folks are getting a little older, you know, and during COVID, I was lucky enough that I got to spend a bunch of time and stay with them,
Yeah.
which was really nice. But now, eventually, I would like to get like a one bedroom in Astoria or something like that.
Yeah. Great neighborhood.
It, it, yeah, if the payday comes in, you know,
Yeah.
just one of the first things I'll do is buy like a 1 or 2 bedroom condo out there, and I'll rent the other room to a comic for cheap, and
Yeah.
then have the rest of the place to myself when
Yeah.
I want to come to town.
That's a great idea. That's essentially what I do in LA. Um.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I want
Uh.
to do the same thing.
Yeah. Um. So we can segue right from road payday into the
Oh,
special. Yeah. Go
what?
ahead.
Yeah, one other quick thing. It is 61 degrees here in LA, which is the flip of what you were talking about in the intro.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
can tell you right now, everyone's got jackets on. It rained last night. We're all like, it's freezing
Yeah.
here. Outdoor shows lightly attended again.
Dude, I used to be one of those people.
It's
61
so
was like,
funny.
I'm not going outside.
Dude, I have this great jacket that I bought at the Los Feliz flea market that a dude made. It's like a 1-for-1 out of like a 1920s blanket. It's this like bright yellow jacket.
That's
And it
cool.
was like, that, like, I was like, yeah, I get to break this thing out because I only get to wear it like twice a year.
You know what I did actually right before the podcast was I was doing that thing that I've always heard New Yorkers do where they take all their winter stuff and like box it up or put it under the bed and like
Yeah.
and then move their spring summer stuff in. And I've always been like, why would you like need? Because yeah, I'm like, I get New York, like the closet space isn't crazy, but you don't take into account like the bulkiness of winter stuff, you know. And then
Yes.
you don't just usually have one winter jacket. You have a couple of like bigger sweaters and a but that takes up so much space. I found myself
A
going,
shit ton.
I'm like, I really will have to do that. I'll have to like put shit under the bed and like and
You
just
get vacuum seal bags.
I'm literally ordering them on Amazon later today because it's just it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I do that with my fat clothes.
So
That's
when you
yeah.
were in quarantine, not quarantine because Florida didn't fucking have one, but when you were in Florida,
Yeah,
you
Florida
lost a
shut
bunch of
down.
weight.
I got down to 175, which is like the thinnest I've ever been, or like thinnest since like high school age.
Wow,
And then
yeah.
like shot the special in June 2021,
Yeah.
then went to Universal with my trash friends the next day, celebrated by eating garbage and a bunch of candy,
You gain
and
20
then
pounds
just
in a
fucking
day.
I gained every pound plus 8 pounds back.
Wait, what?
So so I got up to so I got down to 175 between June of last year and the beginning of this month. I got up to 220. And
Wow, that's what
then
I weigh now, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we are very different heights, and it
That's
weight
true,
looks
yeah.
very you also have muscle, which I don't have. So now I'm like back on the same kind of bullshit I was on when I was in Florida, getting ready for my special, how I lost all the weight. I'm like
Okay.
back to working out like twice a day and eating crazy healthy. And now weight's coming off again. So now I'm down now I'm back to the first fat I was when I broke up, when Lene and I broke up.
My first fat.
Yeah.
um so what are you doing for exercise and diet? Because you said exercise twice a day. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I do is I go for like a 45-minute walk in the morning. And
Great. And
like
you live
during
right
the,
by Griffith Park, so you do the trails?
I, that's literally what I do. I
Good.
like walk from here like to pretty much to Griffith Park, and
Yeah.
then while I'm on that walk, I do like 30 minutes of an audiobook and
Okay.
then 15 minutes of listen to sets.
Okay.
And then I come home and then I ride my bootleg Peloton, which is just I got a spin class bike
Okay.
from I found it like in out of the closet like Goodwill out here.
Oh,
And
nice.
then I
Yeah.
got the Peloton. Yeah, I got the Peloton app, and I put like duct tape my iPad to it, and now I'm doing Peloton on my bootleg spin bike, and it's the
Nice.
best. I do that like for like either 45 or 30 minutes every day.
Nice. That's great. That level of like cardio will really help like burn the fat, especially if you can like turn it into a thing that is just almost automatic. It's like a part of your day. It doesn't even have to
It's
be
the
like some people
routine.
are like, I'm doing 2 hours a day. It's like you're not gonna. That's not sustainable.
No,
But
yeah,
what you're
that's why
doing is
it's like
good.
if I can do 30 to 45 minutes a day,
Yeah, it's easy.
we're golden.
Yeah,
And
and
then I
that's
take like two.
go ahead.
Yeah, I take like 2 days off a week from the bike, and then on one of those days I'll like go hike up to Griffith because it's right here, or I'll do yoga.
Yeah, yoga's
So
great too.
today I did the walk and I did yoga.
Nice. Yeah, that
Yeah,
kind of like having that just be like a part of the everyday is like that makes a bigger difference, I think, in the long term, and it's easier to maintain. Like that 2 hour fucking workout shit is like, unless that's like your job, like I'm a fucking, you know,
model.
uh, yeah, well, yeah, that kind of job. It's like I'm a model or I'm a personal trainer or I'm trying to be a professional bodybuilder. It's like, who needs that shit? Like you do
Yeah.
30 minutes a day and it will eventually start to like make a difference. And then aside from that, you just feel mentally better. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my God. Just going for a walk. If you just go for a walk for
Yeah.
30 minutes every day, especially they say if you go for a walk within the first 30 minutes of you being awake,
Yeah.
they say is super good for you because the color of the blues in the sky help us like um, regulate our nervous system apparently.
Oh,
I
really?
found out. Yeah, so if you
go earlier, it like releases certain things, like a certain amount of like dopamine and a certain amount of what's the stress hormone?
Um, I have no idea.
I can't remember, but I know the name of it. Oh, cortisol.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
okay.
so it like regulates your body for that. So they say you should walk every day at sundown, when this like 30 minutes after you wake up and 30 minutes during like sunset hours.
See, that's another reason why it's good to have a dog, because
Yeah,
you have to do that.
yeah,
You know, there's no like, I don't feel like walking. Your dog's like, bro, we got to, I'm going to piss all over your rug.
we got to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. That's one of the first things I noticed when I got my dog, where I was like, man, I am outside more, because I'll go outside when I'm gonna, like, you know, do a specific like go hike Griffith or go on a bike ride or whatever. But I would find myself going out every few hours, and that blue light sunlight thing that you're talking about, like, makes a difference, dude. It really
Big
does.
time.
And there's no excuse in LA. It's sunny 363 days a year.
Oh my God.
You
Yeah.
got to do it.
And the 1 or 2 days it's not, you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. So let's go out and be in this overcast sky for the next half hour before it burns off.
But yeah, it becomes 80. um, what is your plan for the rest of the year? Because you just put out the special this week, like a few days ago, right?
Tuesday. It came out Tuesday the 19th. So right now the plan for the rest of the year is I'm just starting. I took time off. I like was touring really hard until the beginning of January or February. And then kind of was like, okay, I'm burnt out. And then I was just like, I'm just not going to book anything on the road for the next 6 months.
Okay.
So I'm off of the road until about August. I'm going to start filling in dates for like July, August, September. And I'm going to be on the road probably. My goal is to be on the road once a month, and then the rest of the time be building out new material in LA.
Okay.
And so as it goes right now, I did a long set last night in LA at this show called it's called like Comedy Cottage at this place, Tom Bergen's. And I did 22 minutes of all new stuff that's not in the special yet.
Okay.
That wasn't, that's all like new. And that felt good. Like it's not all there yet, but it's like
right.
Some of it's pretty close. So it's like, okay, so then I'm probably around like 18 new minutes from that. And then I have about 25-ish minutes left over from the special.
Okay.
That didn't make it in because we shot like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. So you still have some that's like kind of ready to go that no one's seen.
Yeah, there was like the whole back end, like I cut out like the last 20 minutes of the special and then went to like the closer because I was like, oh, this is I can transition from this joke to this joke, and then I'll just keep all this material.
So are you going to do like a special, because the special is on YouTube for free for those who don't
for free
know.
It's on Bill Burr's All Things Comedy. Anybody can watch it right now.
So they go to YouTube/All Things Comedy,
and they'll find it. I'm like on the front page right now,
and it's called
or they can go to my website jfharris.com.
And then also
it's called People Make Mistakes.
It's called People Make Mistakes, and I'll put the links in the description, because this is on YouTube right now, but the audio of this will be on Apple, Spotify, whatever, wherever you listen to podcasts. So the link will be in that description, and I will cut out all the stuff where we had the problem when I edit this to put up the audio. There will not be a "Can you hear me?" Well, how about now? Can you for like 4 minutes? So don't worry about that. So I'm very proud of you. I'm very happy for you.
Thanks, buddy.
It looks fucking awesome. I watched the rough cut when you were still editing it, and it looked great then. It looks even better now.
Thanks, dude.
Are you going
That's all my director, Mike.
What's that?
It said that's all my director, Mike Freyberg.
Yeah, he did a great job. And I just played the venue that you shot it at, Coastal Creative.
Oh, yeah, you were at Coastal Creative.
Yeah.
How cool is that space?
That was
our production company for it, our boots on the ground production company.
And dude, that facility, everything they do there is fucking top notch. Like it's a great place. And when I walked in and looked at the room, I was like, "Oh my god, they did such a great job like redesigning and reimagining it to have that kind of warehousey sort of like gritty kind of feel, you know, but also
Yeah.
like sleek and pretty." But when you walk in, you're like, you can see that they did that. But had no one told me, I would have been like, "Oh, well, where's the room that JF shot his thing in?" You know.
Yeah.
So it was like, you
Yeah.
know, hats off to those guys. They did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, they put in a lot of work and a lot of like sweat equity and stuff like that. So if anyone's in the Tampa area, you got to go there to see shows because they're doing a ton of stand up now.
Yeah, it's when you look it up, you go to the Side Splitters Comedy Club website because they for those
Yeah.
weekend shows, it's through them, so, which was kind of confusing for some people. They were like messaging me about like, "Where is this? Are you in Tampa or is there a Side Splitters in St. Pete?" That venue is like the St. Pete Side Splitters is at Coastal Creative.
Yes.
And it's great. It's great.
Yeah, and they're doing Don't Tell comedy shows there too now, and
Yeah, there
it's
was one of
really
those
hip.
right after mine. It was like a 10 or 10:30 show. So like they can kind of, I mean, they can do whatever they want there. There's
Yeah,
no.
the dude Zach who owns and runs the place, he's the man, and
Yeah.
he's just a big fan of comedy and a supporter of comedy, and yeah,
Yeah, there's places like that in like the tour I was just on was like a lot of those types of venues on purpose. I was
yeah,
like, let's find like the indie venues and like music clubs and like just interesting, fun places where there's not going to be, you know, like an opener feature with here are the birthdays and the sign up for the newsletters and
no,
there's a check drop 40 minutes in your set. It was so liberating. And you've done a lot of these gigs, you know.
yeah, I
How
love
good
all
does it
those indie
feel?
rooms, man. Thare so fun because they're like people who are there for the comedy, and
Yes.
it's rooms run by comics, so it's like,
Yes.
there are great comedy clubs out there, but they're kind of few and far between right now. And then there are all these indie rooms like the Riot in Houston or
Love
like
that room.
dude, that room's the best. I
Yeah.
love those guys too who run it. They're the
Yeah, they're
best.
great. Brian and Drew.
It's like yeah, they're great. And New Orleans, Zach in New Orleans, and like there's just like all these the Lafayette guys.
Yeah,
and
Jason. Yeah, Lafayette's great.
Yeah, Jason and Lafayette. It's like there's just that whole like southern run of like clubs you can go to that are all alt rooms and that's where I worked out all the material for this special.
Yeah.
Mobile, Alabama, and like a lot of these weird little one-nighters and shows in Florida. And it was like the only places that were also open during most of the pandemic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So my question related to that was, are you going to use the material that you cut out as like a sort of like bonus footage thing if someone wants to physically buy the not physically, but like digitally buy the special or something? Are you going to
That's
have like
cool. No, I didn't even think about it like that. Well, the other stuff isn't like sound mixed or color corrected or any of that kind of stuff. Kind of my plan right now is in like 6 to 9 months, I would like to release another half-hour special.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
So like the plan is it's like, and it probably won't be on the same scale that this one was because
Right.
this one was pretty pricey to make. So, but I learned a lot, and then I just directed and produced another special for a friend.
Oh, really? Who?
My buddy Mort Burke. He's a guy I started with out in Chicago.
Okay.
And so, he, I just did one for him, and we did it in like a little small theater out here in LA, and like we did like similar to mine. We had like I think he had a 5-camera shoot. I think we did 5 cameras on it. And Black Magics and the Kyle from Don't Tell Comedy came in to help produce it and like put in a lot of sweat equity and good work and like and like from everything I learned on mine, like the turnaround on this one, it'll probably be out in like a month or two, where
Okay.
mine took a lot longer.
And is that just because you needed to just outsource a lot of the editing and mixing and whatever?
No, mine took longer because of the fact that like at different points, different companies were supposed to buy it.
Oh, on that end of it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so mine has been done and like ready to go out for months, but
Yeah.
you know, well, it for originally when I shot it, it was on spec for a company, and then they had a whole bunch of people get fired,
Of course, yeah.
and then they lost their whole budget for digital comedy stuff.
Yeah.
So it was originally supposed to be on YouTube for a big company, and then that kind of went away.
Yeah.
And then also when I first brought it to ATC, they were like Netflix or HBO is gonna want this, and then we waited like months to hear from Netflix,
Yeah.
and then but the whole plan was originally YouTube, which is where I wanted it to be. And then we ended up just going with All Things Comedy's YouTube, which is honestly what I want for it, because I want everyone to be able to see it and not have to pay for it. And
Yeah.
also I still own it.
Right.
I didn't have to like sell it to anybody. So now, and so it's mine to chop up, and I can put up as many clips as I want. So every day I'm just going to put up a clip from it until I'm out of clips.
Yeah, great.
So for the next 3 months, I have 3 months worth of clips, you know?
And then are you doing like are you going to cut an audio album from it and do
Yeah, the audio album comes out in May. It's going to be on All Things Comedy and 800 Pound Gorilla.
Are they
And
doing it together?
together, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it comes out, I think May 18th, the album drops.
Nice. That's great. And then
And
same
then same thing. Like I'll be able to make money from Sirius and
right.
Spotify and stuff like that, and that'll offset the cost. You know, hopefully the first year of what I make on Sirius will pay for most of the special.
Yeah. And then it's going to like what a lot of people seem to be doing is they'll release people who like have had specials on certain networks are doing the free YouTube route because it's like you just said accessible to everybody, and then it like elevates your ticket sales on the road and stuff, so you kind of are like making back the money in that way, but
Yeah.
it's so indirect, but it's ultimately that's what all of us want anyway. We want to sell more tickets on the road, play bigger venues, and keep getting the fucking word out.
Yeah, and I didn't get in comedy to get rich. I got in it to
Right.
like to tell jokes, and it's more fun telling jokes when it's a room full of people who came to see you. And
Right.
so, give it away, and hopefully people dig it. And if they want to support, I just opened a merch store, and they can go to the merch store on my website, and they can buy a t-shirt or a tote bag or something like that. But, you know,
And then are you gonna take the merch on the road, like the t-shirts and tote bags and stuff, or is that just gonna be online?
um, I think I'm gonna do one of the t-shirts on the road, not all of them, and I'm gonna have the tote bags. And then I do stickers and pins and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna do cassettes for the road, like old school cassettes.
Like
And then
like the
we
USB
talked
ones
about a
I'm
while
doing, or
ago.
are you doing real ones?
I'm doing real cassettes,
Oh,
and then
cool.
I'm gonna do
That's
yeah, and
cool.
then I'm gonna do vinyl too, because I looked into the USB ones, and the overhead on those are a little high.
Wait, to order how many?
Like if I wanted to get like 500
Oh, yeah,
or
that's
something,
that's a lot.
or yeah, or whatever it is. Maybe I'll do a couple of them,
Yeah.
but what it costs to make a cassette's actually pretty cheap.
Like a real physical with like a
Like
case
a
and like the
physical cassette, yeah.
Okay.
And then inside I'm gonna include a QR code that takes people
Yes.
to my website so that they can watch the video of the special. And the
Yeah.
special is gonna be on Amazon eventually too for people to watch.
When does that happen?
That is up to Amazon. We're still like
Okay.
waiting on the channels to get it on there. So I think we were hoping it'll be on Amazon by like June.
Okay. Um
Yeah.
well, that's great, dude. Fucking so many people have an Amazon Prime account, so
Yeah,
that's like the
exactly.
next best place to get it in terms of like reach.
Yeah,
Um
and there's so many of our friends who have specials on Amazon that have really like I'm not crazy close friends, but Chris Porter,
there's
all
a
of his
few.
specials are yeah, they're all on Amazon, and they have like hundreds of thousands of views on there.
Oh,
Like
nice.
Yeah, Chris does really well on Amazon. Like he has so many reviews, all that stuff. And it's funny because a lot of the old Comedy Dynamic specials are on there and stuff like that. So you can go on there and watch Nick Griffin, or I know Chad Daniels has a couple specials on there through 800 Pound Gorilla. And
Yeah.
so it's becoming a really good place for people to watch stand up.
Yeah, there's like, those Netflix specials are, it's just the massive stars we all already know. But when you're like, well, there's like a billion other comedians out there, like where the fuck are their specials? They're all on Amazon and YouTube, and the quality's like great. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's going to be some bad ones on YouTube because any asshole can upload anything they want, but legitimate
100%.
comics are using this
Yeah.
as like a real way to
probably the two most popular young comedians are the guys named Mark Norman and Sam Morril, and Joe List, I would say too. And those three guys all put up YouTube specials that have like 5 to 8 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they're like selling out theaters.
Yeah, I mean it's just crazy to rewire our brains to be like, this is what we have to do, because when we started, that would have been, I mean, if you told someone you were doing that, they would look at you like you were mentally ill.
I know a dude who did it like 8 years ago, maybe longer, maybe 10 years ago, and
He's
people
dead
were
now.
like, yeah, but people were like, I can't believe you're doing this. This is so weird. And
Yeah.
it's like, now it's like, oh no, he was just ahead of the curve just by a little too much.
And then, so it was so far ahead that it didn't do anything for him.
I don't think it did anything for him, but I think there is a world where it's like, yeah, you get in on these platforms at the right time. Like I know guys who are, who have like 60,000 Instagram followers and like a real YouTube following because they were doing it before it was popular.
Yeah, those early days of uploading like clips, where if you like Russell Peters, I mean, he
got famous from YouTube.
Yeah, putting stand-up clips up when nobody had any.
Somebody shared his Comedy Now, which is the Canadian comedy half-hour special, to YouTube, and then a dude blasted it out to everybody he worked with at like a big corporation.
Yeah.
And then that's how he got famous.
Yeah, and now he's a
because it spread like wild. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing great. I mean, it's so funny. You watch like a lot of people we know, like, they're doing theaters now and all this stuff. And then you look at guys like Russell, is like, he must be like, yeah, I've been doing that for like 2 decades.
I mean, yeah. Dudes who do arenas.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, arenas? Yeah, I've been doing arenas for 20 years maybe, all over the world. So, yeah, welcome to my world.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing, too. Like, the internet is so wild that people can be famous and you've never heard of them. Like, I know people who can sell out theaters and people don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's like their fame now is like being a soccer player. Like if they walk around America, we would not even know.
No clue.
But then that guy's worth like $100 million, and if he walked down the street in England, people would like rip his clothes off or whatever.
100%.
That's what fame is becoming in America, which ultimately that's cool because there's more for everybody that way. We can all carve out our own little thing and make a great living, and then the trappings of fame in that weird way are like not really there like they used to, where like
people can like have a fan base but live a life.
Yeah, you can be a regular person and stuff. So you watch like people become famous and they don't lose their fucking marbles like other people, when it just, because fame is so unnatural. Like that's not what shouldn't happen to anybody, like watch people become like go ahead.
I say I got friends who are like famous, and that shit is not fun.
Yeah, it fucks with your head.
Yeah, I'm just looking to be able to sell out a weekend at a comedy club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And make like 10 to 20 a weekend.
Yeah, yeah. And you could live a comfortable life and, everything's great. Whatever happens after that, you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm making 10 grand a weekend, I can pay for all the weekends I didn't get paid.
Yes. And fund your own specials.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the plan from this point on. Like, if somebody comes down the pipeline and offers me a big pile of money at some point to do one, yeah, I would do it if I thought it would help and grow my audience. But for the most part, it's like, why? I just put it all on YouTube now,
Yeah. There's no sense
and
in
it'll pay for itself
yeah.
at some point.
There's no sense in aligning with a company that isn't gonna give you something you can't give yourself, you know?
Yeah,
Like if
look at
they're like,
Andrew
give
Schultz.
us a percentage and we'll like make your thing for you. Like, well, what are you gonna do that I couldn't already? Like, do you have a, you know, is there prestige associated? Like, is it HBO where it's like, wow, that's still not that common?
I mean,
Or is it you're gonna?
I mean, I would love to do an HBO just for my childhood watching stand up.
Yeah, and I mean, there still is a reason. There's still a prestige factor to HBO. Like, even if it didn't pay a lot, I would be like, yeah, of course. Like, that's an amazing accomplishment, you know? But
it's like doing the Tonight Show. You're like, yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah,
I want to be a part of that history.
Right. But, you know, there's a lot of, like, companies out there that are like, we want to produce your thing. And you're like, they wouldn't be able to get you any views or number, but they want to take a percentage forever. You're like, nah, those days we don't need that anymore.
All Things Comedy is great.
Yeah, they're like, All Things Comedy does it right
because they're owned and ran by comedians.
Yeah, so their interests are like, they know what to do. You know?
Yeah.
And they were like that with the podcast when they started the network. It was like they weren't trying to take shit from us, rip us off, get in the way creatively. It was like the perfect place to be, you know?
Yeah, man. And there's other good companies starting to do that too. Like there's the Don't Tell Comedy guys. They're shooting all these things for people and putting them up these like 10 and 12-minute clips on YouTube and like putting stuff on TikTok. And from TikTok, they got 1.2 million TikTok followers now, maybe more at this point.
Nice.
And they put up one of my jokes back when they had 700,000, and I picked up like 600 TikTok followers in a day.
That's great.
Yeah, and for a comedian, it's like, it's great because you're just hoping to convert people into fans who come see you live.
Right, yeah, of course.
So you can keep the lights on.
Yeah, exactly. So are you going to start a podcast? You have all this equipment now. What are you going to do?
I'm starting a podcast.
Okay.
But I don't think I'm going to do it here in my house. I think I will do some episodes from home. When I want to do like friends on the East Coast, like New York comics. But what the plan is I have it's going to be called For the Culture, which is, and it's going to be, I'm going to have a guest come on, a friend, and they're going to pick a movie, an album, and then a wild card piece of art that all like super inspired them, that they're either very connected to now or from when they were younger, but like 3 pieces of art that are super important to them in their life.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bring on one thing every week, and then we're just going to talk about those things.
Nice.
Yeah. I wanted to do one that's like about shit that I actually want to talk about, and all I want to talk about is like music, art, movies. Yeah, and it'll be a place where people can find out about new cool shit.
Yeah, that's like, if you're going to sit down and want to do a podcast, it's like, you know, you better do one about shit you're interested in, because every week becomes a chore if it's shit that you don't really care about, you know?
Yeah, and I don't give a shit about murder.
Yeah, right.
Some murder podcast.
Right, yeah. Or like coming up with some high concept thing where you got to do like research and write stuff in this games. You're like, I mean, every week? Like, unless I love that shit, like.
No, I'll watch a movie a week. I'll listen to an album a week, and then if somebody picks like a book, we're gonna do that one at the end of the month. Give me a month to read this book. Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's like, you know, a painter or something like that, you know, something easy that I can check out, great.
Yeah, and that, like, especially with the painters and stuff, because you could post visuals, you know, like that's an easy. The music's a little harder because you can't really, like, you're gonna get copyright flags and shit. But like, still the ability to talk about that shit is great, because people that you then become like a place where people are like, oh, I didn't hear about that movie until I saw this episode or that album, and it's like, it's
and people dip in because somebody's talking about an album or a band that they love, and then they'll get to find out about 3 other pieces of art that they also might dig.
Right, exactly, yeah. And then are you going to do the podcast are you going to do like a network or just by yourself?
I'm going to talk to ATC probably and probably do it with ATC. If not, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah. And then, they have a studio.
Yeah, which makes it easier.
Yeah, and that's like right up the street, basically.
Yeah, and Aaron's there, and he's the best. And they have like a 4-camera. They have like a 3 or 4 camera setup, and they live cut, and they do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it just makes life a little bit easier.
Especially if you're gonna have guests on, like you don't necessarily want everyone coming to your place all the time. Like you could just meet at a location.
There's like 3 people.
Yeah.
I want coming over.
That's funny. So, dude, this is great.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad you were able to come on. And I'm so happy for the special, the way it turned out.
Man.
And
I really appreciate it.
Free, you guys. Go to the YouTube, ATC's YouTube, or just type in JF Harris ATC, and it's gonna come up. Watch it, or like you were saying, put it on. And put it on mute, let it run in the background or whatever, and watch it later. Or whatever, whatever you can do to help get the followers up, it costs you nothing.
Literally nothing.
Yeah. So if you're like, I want to watch the special, but I'm busy, whatever, fucking put it on, put it on mute, go be busy. Great. And then actually watch it later. That's 2 views.
While you're listening to this podcast, put it on.
Yes.
And then, exactly.
Yeah, while you're doing laundry, while you're reading a book, something on mute doesn't bother anybody, but it does help J.F. Harris.
Yeah, it'll help me in the all-seeing algorithm, and then more people will see it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. And then if people watch it more than once, I think that also helps them know that, like, this is a sticky piece of content. Let's pump this out to more people.
Oh, it's got like the repeat value thing. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. All right, dude. Anything else you want to?
All right, dude.
Any plug or?
No, man. Just people want to watch the special. Great. That would be awesome. If they want, they can follow me on Instagram or TikTok. It's at the JF Harris. JF is like the initials. I'll have a pod out soon. Probably going to start it up next week or 2. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, the podcast starts in a week or 2?
I'll probably start recording them, and then once I have like 4 banked, I'll start putting them out.
Got it. Okay. So the JF Harris, as it appears right there.
And I'll be in Milwaukee in August, and then if you're in LA, I got some shows at the Comedy Store and the Improv and all that coming up.
Cool, dude. And then what's the website?
jfharris.com.
jfharris.com. There you have it, everybody. Go support comedians who aren't yet playing theaters, but will be.
Yeah.
And this is how you do it. It's freer than ever, you motherfuckers.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you got to plug? Plug something. Tell people to go get all the EPs.
Well, what I do now is, I've been doing this, but I have those USB cassettes, and I put all those EPs on that.
I think that's so great.
Yeah, they do well on the road, man, and they're like small, so you can like throw them in your backpack. It's a great merch thing for me because I don't want to lug a bunch of fucking shirts or this or just heavy, cumbersome shit. But those are available on my website for those that don't know. They're USB cassettes that you can use as an actual USB drive. They're like 4 gigs or something. And on them are 3 of my albums, the last 3 EPs I put out, and a bonus track that's not available anywhere else in the world. No Spotify's, no nothing, only on that. And it's you know that show Competitive Erotic Fan Fiction? You remember that?
Yeah. I remember that. Brian Cook's show.
Yeah.
Brian writes over at Kimmel now.
So, good for him. That's great.
Yeah.
So I did that show at the SF Sketchfest a few years ago, and it's like a filthy show, and it's so fun to do.
Yeah.
So I recorded the set, and then I was like, I could use that for something one day. It'll be like good to have. And so I just put it on there as like a special bonus track. So that's a great way That's a great way to support me, and a great way to really support any comic is go to the website, find a piece of merch, just something that you could use once or twice. It's like that's the way to do it for all the free podcasts you get and all the free stand-up specials now that you're getting. But so just that, and then I'll be in Chicago in May, and DC in May, and Detroit. Go to my website. If you're here now, you already know that. But
sweet.
Yeah, dude.
All right, buddy.
Good to see you. Digitally.
Great to see you too. Digitally. I'll be in New York in July.
I'll be in LA in May.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we'll grab coffee.
Exactly.
All right, dude.
All right. Peace, buddy.
Later. That was it, man. J.F. Harris. Very happy for him. We met in Los Angeles. There's Jason. Sorry, dude. I didn't see you there when we were mentioning you, but you got the goods, man. You got the fucking the comedy scene figured out down there. And I already can't wait to come back to do that gig. Lafayette Comedy. That's what that was. So yeah, JF and I met in LA, and we hit it off like right away because of our shared love of coffee and music and vinyl and all that stuff, and like, denim and things like that. It's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be friends like immediately. So he's a hard worker, man. He's always going after it, and the special, it looks fucking awesome. And it was all like it was very DIY, just working with friends and making it happen. So that's a great way to support a good dude, is watch that special. And like I said, Detroit, Chicago, DC, that's all in May. And then the high deserts of California, out near like Hesperia, Victorville, not quite Palm Springs, but like, it's Riverside, like nearish there. I'll be doing a show out there, and info and tickets are on my website. That show is May 7th, I think. That's it, man. Go have a good weekend. Do what you're gonna do, and I'll see you soon.
It's the end of the show. Like, subscribe, and comment. Don't be a dear.